The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.
And we've got Steve Peralta in studio with us for Wellness Wise, which we haven't had in a few weeks. And we're talking fatigue and stress and burnout, which a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah, definitely.
Go for it.
Okay, so like I said, it's quite a prevalent issue these days, and that's due to new demands of the modern world that we haven't had for our previous, like hundreds and thousands of years. And these are very new and demanding conditions. A typical day for people are wake up to alarm, which sends cortisol going anyway.
Oh, the worst moment.
You don't feel like getting out of bed. You pull yourself out of bed. You grab coffee. You miss breakfast. You might grab a bit like a croissant or something that's not going to exactly nourish you. Get to work. The stress starts. Stress. Bombarded by your boss or whatever it may be. Or if you don't go to work, you might have financial stress issue, all that kind of stuff. It builds up. You have more coffee. You don't eat properly.
You didn't mention traffic.
Traffic, yeah. You get home. You're tired. You end up watching TV till late at night. You miss out on valuable sleep, and it's like the cycle continues. That's sort of just the general day-to-day kind of stuff. But obviously, we have varying circumstances. Some of us have unique financial stresses, like I said, relationship stresses, even unresolved childhood issues that create stress. We haven't resolved them. So essentially, all that kind of stuff. And what it does, it keeps you in a state of fight or flight. I've mentioned this before, and that's our ancient survival mechanism, which is there to help us react to threatening situations. So it definitely has its place, but not to be
constant,
overused on a chronic sort of basis. So when we are in that state, we activate. So we have what's called our autonomic nervous system, and that's the part of our nervous system that regulates our unconscious going-ons, like our organs and our hormones and etc. Stuff that we don't have actual control over.
Right.
Now you get the sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic is catabolic, and it's involved in breakdown of tissue and releasing of stress hormones, etc. And the parasympathetic is to do with digestion and repair. Now we're supposed to have a nice balance between the day, because we do need some stress for growth and so on. But these days, the sympathetic nervous system is sort of jacked the whole time because of these stresses that I've mentioned. So when that happens, you can't have them sort of operating optimally at the same time. Either one's dominating or the other. So then we're constantly in that sympathetic nervous system state, which therefore shuts down your digestion, shuts down your repair and renewal, and it raises your heart rate, your blood pressure, and so on. So you can imagine being in that state on a chronic basis. The inevitable result is illness, disease, but on a more day-to-day level, fatigue.
You said that in that state, your repair doesn't happen as much. Is that why, like, your skin always looks bad when you stress?
Exactly. Yeah. You can tell. Your wounds will heal slower. Your digestion will start playing up. You won't assimilate your nutrients, all that kind of stuff. It's a classic stressed state to be in. And then you reach what's called adrenal fatigue. So essentially your adrenals, they overproducing cortisol the whole time, and eventually you reach what's called fatigue. And you get 3 stages, stage 1, 2, and 3. So the further along those stages you are, the longer it'll take to recover. But the only way you'll recover is by making some changes. So like I've said, obviously, stress is good to a degree, but these days, a lot of us are experiencing it.
And it
chronically.
Becomes almost like the constant state that you don't realize
exactly.
when you are.
You almost become addicted to it. Some people, when eventually they ask to relax, they can't relax because they become addicted to that on the go.
And you feel like I should be doing more. Why,
exactly.
Why
and you
why am I chilling?
No one can keep it up. You will burn out. So like I said, the only solution is to make changes in one's life. So I won't go into too much detail now, but I'll go into this as the weeks progress. But your sort of step process is to initially first remove your primary stresses in your life, or stressors. So that'll be different for different people. Sometimes that's easy, sometimes that's difficult.
It's not at all.
So you need to make a plan and set goals and so on, so that you can monitor your progress. But changes definitely need to be made. So that's the first step. The second step is to nourish yourself nutritionally and with water, etc. So eat and drink properly.
Okay.
Third step is to move more, but to move according to your needs. So moving more, if you are in stage 3 adrenal fatigue, moving more doesn't mean going to the gym and smashing yourself at the gym. That'll just be making it even worse. So someone in that stage needs to do energy building exercises.
What are energy building
It's
exercises?
essentially movement aligned with breath and inner attention. So your arts like
Meditating.
Tai Chi and yoga
Yoga.
are examples of that, but you don't need to subscribe to that. You can do it by yourself at home. You can turn a squat into a breathing squat where you slowly come up, slowly go down, and you do it with your breath. I mean, I can go into this in more detail, but essentially that kind of approach. Meditation as well, or relaxation. Get more sleep. That's an obvious thing. You have to get more sleep. If you're not sleeping enough, then you're going to be in a stressed state. And then mentally, because mental stress is quite a big thing. So a lot of us focus on what we fear and what we don't want. It's we human beings. That's essentially worry. It's projecting into the future about what could happen, what's going to happen, and that's keeping you in that state of fight or flight. Whereas if we focus more on what we want and what we love, etc., then that'll essentially calm us down and keep us, build more energy for us. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, if you're feeling fatigued and you're feeling you could be in one of these three
Yeah.
stages of fatigue, you mentioned you've got to make changes, obviously.
Well, you have to. Otherwise, you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep on getting the same thing.
You've got to eat well, drink water, look
Yeah.
after yourself diet-wise, move more according to your needs.
Yeah.
You said get sleep,
Yeah, definitely.
of course.
So ideally 10 to 6 kind of vibe. But yeah.
Okay. And try and make mental changes. Try and
Yeah.
delay the worry.
So the way to make mental changes, I would say, is if you meditation. It's a good way to gain insight, etc. But also just to keep a diary and write about what your dreams. And that would define your dreams and then define your goals. I think that keeps you focused on the positive as opposed to the negative. And if there
so
are
that's it.
issues, try and come up with plans as to how you're going to resolve them. It'll keep you more positive as opposed to stressed out and negative.
And you mentioned there are 3 levels of fatigue. Are you going to chat about that at a later stage? Or
Yes,
will you mention
definitely.
those?
No, we'll chat about it at a later
Okay.
stage. Yeah.
All right. So just keep it in mind, and throughout the next few weeks,
Yeah.
we'll try, help you if you're in that state where you feel
Definitely.
you could be on your way to a burnout.
Definitely.
The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.